Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel back with Carpe Vanguard as in the Vanity weekly videos. If you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and sorry. This time we are covering more reviews for DZ Set 8 as we are coming across DZ Set 8's release date, which is actually next week. This week, thanks to last week's episode, we have the release of Blangdmire Nexus, along with a lot of cards for, I want to say it's more fun, no, it's Bane Dream that we have a lot of support cards for, and a lot of news release at Bushiroad's conference. Let's get started and see what we have. First today, we have our normal order, My Song for You, grade 3 normal order for Lyrical Monasterio. Choose one of your rear guards, and it gets auto rear guard when your unit is placed during your battle phase. This unit gets 5,000 power per turn until end of turn. Honestly, that's a pretty good generic card for Lyrical Monasterio. A lot of Lyrical Monasterio decks and a lot of generic Lyrical Monasterio cards in general focus on superior calling during the battle phase, so being able to give all those units plus 5k for free is honestly pretty solid. Not a bad order, but you don't want to see too many of it because it can only give it to one rear guard, and again, you can only play this once per turn because it's an order, so warranting a 2 of, and granted a lot of Lyrical Monasterio decks nonetheless, but you still only want 2 of it. And then we have Sprightly Jumper at fair, grade 3 10% 13k base, auto rear guard when it attacks into a vanguard. By counterblasting one, you can choose one of your opponents from a rear guards and move it to the guard circle. Honestly, that's pretty solid. It's rear guard removal by moving it to the guard circle, so if it doesn't have guard power, well, screw your opponent. And if it does have guard power, well, they're only getting like a 5k shield out of it, maybe a 10k shield if they actually call down a trigger or something like that. Honestly, not a bad grade 3, but it does eat into the CB, and you don't really want this in a lot of Lyrical Monasterio decks, so it's a nice 2 of if budget is applied to it. Moving on, we have a random support card for Hexal Orb and Pentagonal Geometry Sorceress. Grade 3, grade 2, intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Continues rear guard circle. During your turn, if your vanguards are grade 3 or greater with Sorceress in the card name, this unit gets 5,000 power. And auto drop zone, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard Sorceress in this card name is placed during your ride phase, energy blast 3 to call out from the drop zone to a rear guard circle, and then check the top card and either put it to top or into your soul. If you put it to soul, it gets 5,000 power for the turn. Honestly, pretty solid. Should be a 15k once your Vanguard Sorceress, and you'll be able to superior call her every single time you ride a grade 3, so you can call this on grade 2 and intercept with it, and then when you get to grade 3, call her back out and then stack. All around, not a bad grade 2 at all. It's nice that it can use the energy because I don't think any other Hex Org support actually uses energy, so good that it uses that resource. And again, it can either deck stack or get you soul and possibly get 5k out of it as well. Plus it also get 50k base when you hit grade 3, so take that as you will. Moving on, we have Knight of the Calming Light Helmet Set. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. The standard Sentinel card, which I honestly thought we had seen all of these already, but apparently we hadn't. So all of them puts their rear guards from the hand. Your Vanguards are grade 3 or greater. Bot deck a normie without Sentinel from your drop zone. And if you do, this unit is 2,000 power for the turn. Not bad, but just like that previous grade 3 for Lyrical Monasterio, you don't really run this unless budget's applied, so it's a 2 of tech at best. Moving on, we have some news from the Bushiroad conference. So it's official that Alfred Encounter is going to return in what is seeming to be a festival collection, and my god, is this art beautiful. I was never really a big fan of MLB as the main grade 3, so I'm hoping this kind of replaces him, or it acts as like kind of a superior ride. You know, like how Blaster Blade the Avatar can superior ride on top of MLB. I kind of hope this like allows you to place MLB at the end of the turn so you can stay on regular Alfred, or it could be a whole new ride line. That also works too, but I prefer Alfred to MLB, at least the current D version of MLB, but that depends on what the new Alfred does. Moving on, we also have reveals for Night of the Starry Sky Zero. It will debut in the same festival collection. No, this is a promo for Koro, so this one on the left, and then this one on the right, Shining Wing Star Dragon Vergalia, that is going to be in the festival collection set. So we now have Zero as a card, and we now have the evolved form of Vergila as a card, which is honestly pretty solid for reveals. Moving on, we have the official confirmed reveal of Daikaiser returning for DZ Set 9. So happy belated birthday to Different Fight, and there you go. Your giant robot boy who you've loved since the day he was born is now returning for Set 9, which I'm pretty sure he covered on his stream. So great there. There's also going to be a Buddy Fight collab as well with Vanguard, so that's pretty good news as well. And there's also another collab with a robot-themed anime, of which I don't know the name of. I think it's Brave something. So honestly, pretty cool for that. Moving on, we have our Bane Dream cards. I'm not going to go over it. I'm going to talk about them, but I'm going to go over them, but I'm not going to talk about them. So, Faithful Beginning, Oblivionist, grade 0 boost, 5k show, 6k base, all-in-roll upon if you win second draw a card. It's just a standard starter. And it's an Ave Mujica. This is what the entire new ride line focuses on. Then we have Exposed Secrets, Oblivionist. I will say this, I love the Oblivionist name. For some reason, it's just so fun to say. It's like saying Galactico Oblivion from Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyways, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, Bane Dream, Ave Mujica. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Auto placed by riding from the specified starter. Search your deck for up to one Ave Mujica music card available to hand shuffle deck. Cool. Get you a free search of literally any card of the deck that supports it. So there you go. Then we have Kill Kiss. So Ave Mujica, normal order music, auto input on rear guard circle. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose up to one grade 1, not grade 1. Choose up to one Ave Mujica card from one and reveal to hand shuffle the deck. Cool that it can search any Ave Mujica card. So if they happen to make a PG for it, well, there you go. And it's a grade 1 normal order, so you can play it immediately. And we have Shouldering Determination, Saikiko Tagawa, grade 2 NSF 5 Kisho, 10k base. Auto enrolled upon by Proud Oblivious. Check the top 7 for up to 1 Ave Mujica card from Monland, reveal it to hand shuffle deck. Again, searches a PG and or searches in music, or pretty much searches the entire deck, so not a bad grade 2 at all. That takes us over to Proud Oblivious, so grade 3 10% 13k base. I don't know why, I just love her stance, her hair, and her mask. They all just feel so good. Like, her outfit honestly pops to me, and I don't know why. But anyways, at Vanguard, if you did not play in order this turn, card boss 1 to search your deck or drop zone for up to 1 Ave Mujica music card and play it, and if you search your deck, you shuffle it. This counts as your 1 order play per turn because it's not, you know, putting it on somewhere and then you're able to play a second order. This is specifically activating the order, so take that as you will. And then Auto Vanguard, at the end of the battle, your grade 3 or less Ave Mujica rear guard attacker boosted, lock that unit. This effect is mandatory, so this is reminding me of, I think it was Ethics Buster Reverse from the end of V series, where at the end of the battle something attacked, it was a mandatory lock. I know there was one unit in V that did that, I just don't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Ethics Buster. And then Auto Vanguard, once per turn when this unit attacks, if you put in an Ave Mujica music card this turn, unlock all of your locked cards. Cool, so it allows for multi-attack, regardless of what grade your opponent's Vanguard's at. It also basically blows down your opponent with big numbers, presumably, with the rest of the deck, and it also gets you basically an order, basically CB1. Not a bad grade 3 at all. It's good for what the deck does. And we have, of course, Obedient Mortis, so grade 2 NSF 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when placed on rearguard circle during your main phase. If you have an Ave Mujica Vanguard, CB1, check the top 5 for up to 1 Ave Mujica card reveal, put it to hand shuffle your deck. This deck has so much searching capabilities. That is just, if they make a PG for this deck, I've like seen 3 cards now that could just yeet a PG to hand. And then Auto left front or rearguard circle specifically. When this unit is unlocked during your battle phase, you, the player, get continuous. All your front row Ave Mujica unit rearguards get 5,000 power. And your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater. All your back row Ave Mujica rearguards get 5,000 as well until the end of the turn. That ability is busted, and it's a good thing that it is restricted to one specific rearguard circle, because otherwise you'd be getting numbers out of this. But again, mind you, this ability does not require the opponent to be at grade 3, and the only cost on this card is a CB1. And on top of this, this ability is also free, meaning the second you unlock it, regardless of what grade your opponent's Vanguard's at the bare minimum, you have 2 front row 15k columns, plus your back row 8k booster, so 23k, and if your opponent's Vanguard's are grade 3 or greater, pump this up to 28k without Persona, right? So, not a bad grade 2 at all, easy 4 of. And of course, we have Smart to Mortis, or to Mortis, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, act rearguard once per turn if your Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, energy blast 3, and choose up to 1 grade 3 as unit card with a different card name from this unit from your drop zone or bind zone, and call it to rearguard, and if your Vanguard is not Ave Mujica, retire this unit. So you will obviously be able to fetch back a unit, but I love how this card is still splashable with the other Bang Dream cards, with the only exception being that if your Vanguard is not of a specific type, she will die in the process, but good generic splashability. And then Auto right back row rearguard circle, when your unit is unlocked during your battle phase specifically, Soul Blast 2 and countercharge 1. If your opponent's Vanguard's are grade 3 or greater, it gets 5,000 power. Okay, not bad, but literally the only 2 cards we've seen that cause Counterblast are these 2, and you're arguably not going to use this often, so take that as you will, but still very good grade 1 on the list for countercharging, so it's a 3 of. Moving on, we have Kinda Morris, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, continuous back row left rear guard circle or guard circle. If your Vanguard's in Ave Mujica, it gets 5,000 power and 5k shield, so you know it's a 10k shield, 13k base, blue player's turns. And then Auto left back row rear guard circle specifically. When this unit is unlocked during your battle phase, CB1, choose one opponent's rear guards, mark it. Okay, it's arguably the weakest of them because it doesn't get you resources and only gets your rear guard kill, but hey, you know what, they can't all be winners considering, again, this skill is technically free. This unit gives your entire board 5k, and this unit gets you a counter charge, so I mean a rear guard nuke is fine, and it still has a 10k shield base, so it's not that bad. So it's a solid like 2 over 3 of, like, in my opinion, it's obviously the worst of the Bang Dream Ave Mujica cards, but it's not bad. It's just everything else is just that good. Moving on, we have Thoughtful Dolores, great turn set 5k shield, 10k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle during your main phase specifically. Check the top 5 for up to 1 card and discard and shuffle your deck. Okay, that's just a Philander ability. And then auto right front or rearguard circle. When this unit attacks on anything, if this unit was unlocked during the turn, counter blast 1 and draw a card, and if your damage on this form or cards, instead of drawing a card, this unit performs draft checks for the battle. Cool, so you have rearguard drive checks and you have a deck thin. Again, not a bad grade 2. Like, it obviously seems like the first 2 are winners, but again, it's not bad, but it does eat into the CB a little bit, where now that second one that could counter charge is kind of important, so 3 of. Then we have Crucifix X. That's just a cool name with an amazing like gear-like background. So normal order music, that's a grade 2. Auto input on rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's an Ave Mujica, choose 1 Ave Mujica unit card from your drop zone. If you do not have a copy of that on your board, call it to rearguard circle. And your Vanguard's a grade 3 grade Ave Mujica, ditch a hand card, and during this turn's end phase, all of your locked cards do not unlock. And at the end of your opponent's next turn, choose all of your locked cards and unlock them. Why? I don't see the point of this, because the only time you lock is when you're on the main grade 3, who then unlocks them. So the only reason I could see Crucifix X being useful is if you're playing against an opponent's like rear guard nuke deck, and then you lock your rear guard so your opponent can't murk them, and then they get unlocked during your opponent's end phase, so therefore you can multi-attack with them. I think that's the reason for this, but I honestly can't be too sure. So, like, 1 over 2 of, because that's the only reason I think this could be useful. Moving on, we have a card that's an anime spoiler, so we have no name for it whatsoever. So, auto rear guard once per turn. When your locked card is unlocked during your battle phase, perform all the following based on the number of different card names among your Ave Mujica units. 2 or more different card names, choose your vanguard to give it a crit for the battle, and 4 more different card names if your opponent's vanguard is a grade 3 or greater. Choose one of your vanguards as +1 drive for the battle. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a, like, grade 3 order card, because that just makes sense. So being able to give the Vanguard triple drive is great, and being able to give the Vanguard double critical is great as well. Honestly, not a bad order at all, but like, I think this one is just the best one because it searches, and this one I guess can work against control builds. Otherwise, like, this one's nice for aggro, but I wouldn't put it past a 1 copy. Moving on, we have Imprisoned. Is that a 12? I think that's 12, because I know X in Roman numerals is 10, and then like, though if the ones were before it would be 9, but in this case, because it's after it, it's 12. So Bang Dream, the normal order, play if your Vanguard's an Oblivious in the card name. Auto when put on rearguard circle, search your deck for 1, stage it off for you Mortis, write it as stand and shuffle your deck, and if you roll, put this card into your order zone, retire all of your rearguards without Mortis or Mutsumi and their card names, and then choose one of your Vanguards and reduce the cost of that unit's original auto abilities by CB1 till end of turn. So we went from having a deck that was focused on a specific kind of naming theme, the Ave Mujica units, to being specifically Mortis or Mutsumi, and if they don't have either, then they die on the spot. And then at least it makes the Vanguard ability presumably free because it costs 1 less CB. And the continuous order zone, you cannot call unit cards without Sorceress or Mutsumi in the names to rearguard circle. And act order zone, either Energy Blast 3 or Counter Blast 1 to choose a unit card with either Mortis or Mutsumi from your card and from your drop zone and call to rearguard circle. Okay. So let's get you a Superior Ride. It gets you presumably a free or at least reduced cost skill. It murks all of your rear guards, so if your things have on retire effects, there you go. And it allows you to get an extra unit onto board from drop zone for either CB1 or Energy Blast 3. It's not a bad order. It really just depends on what Staged All for You Mortis does. Speaking of which, Staged All for You Mortis is a grade 4 of triple drive. It's a 13k base. It is an Ave Mujica unit. You cannot ride this card other than by the ability of Imprisoned 12, Continuous Vanguard, or Rearguard Circle. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, and you have a total of 1 or more cards with either Mutsumi or Mortis and their card names in your bind zone, this unit gets 5,000 power. And if you have 3 or more, it gets 15k instead of 5k. So it'll be either 18k or 28k. But then, auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of battle, this unit attacks onto anything. By counterblasting 1, you bind a total of 2 unit cards with either Mutsumi or Mortis and their card names from either your hand or your rearguard circle. Stand this unit, it loses 3 drives for the turn. And if your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, this unit gets a drive and auto hand or drop zone when your unit with Mortis and its card name is unlocked during your battle phase. Bind an obedient Mortis from your left front or rearguard circle. Call this card to your left front or rearguard circle at the end of your turn. Bind this unit. God, that ability was so much. But basically, big beat stick, possible quadruple drive in total, and it gets you multi-attack out the wazoo, so solid 4-up. Moving on, we have the many Mutsumi smiling in the audience seats. Grade 2 NSF, 5k shield, 10k base, continues to have 16 cards, and you have 16 copies of this in your deck, so this is the Mythiac duplicate. Continuously gets all the following according to the number of either Mortis or Mutsumi cards in your bind zone. 2 or more, continues rear guard, this unit gets boost. 4 or more, this unit gets intercept and can intercept from back row, and it also gets 5k shield. And 6 or more, continues rear guard circle. During your turn, it gets plus 10,000 power. God, these are so many cards. Basically, it's a grade 2 booster with extra power, aka it's what I thought that Revenog did when Revenog was first revealed in the anime, because I thought this thing intercepted from the back row when Vezerug blocked Rezel's attack, but it didn't. It just happened to look that way. So, solid 4 of, or not 4 of, like probably 12, if not 16 of straight up. Then we have Dragritter Migdog. So Bushi's starting to do this ace unit thing where you can only have 1 ace unit in your deck and they have a unique skill. Pretty much, they like Divine Skill so much they made a second version of it. So grade 2 and stuff, 5 Kishio, 10k base, little ace unit for Dragon Empire. You might have 1 ace unit in your deck. Unique skill, auto when placed on rearguard circle other than during the battle phase. This unit gets 5,000 power for the turn, just for free. But then Energy Blast 3, you can draw a card and then choose an opponent's rearguard until end of turn. All of the cards on the chosen rearguard circle lose their abilities, cannot gain them, and after that, put all the cards on the chosen rearguard circle into drop zone. You may only use unique skill once per fight among all your cards. That sounds like a simple rearguard retire. It's not, because this picks specifically the rearguard circle, So any unit on that circle that has resist is automatically bypassed. All those cards lose their abilities and then they get murked. So while it's only killing one unit, it's a guaranteed kill, and this is one of the few cards that can bypass lock because it is specifically moving the card to the drop zone. This is, and the reason why this bypasses lock is because it used to do this in G as well. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how the Destiny was able to bypass locks. I'm pretty sure this bypass locks as well. So there's your out to locks. And then auto rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, it gets 5,000 power to end of battle, and if your opponent doesn't have any rear guards, or if their rear guards left a rear guard circle by a card ability this turn, then this unit gets another 5,000 power for that battle. So it's a 15k shield or a 15k swing, and then it gets another 5k if, you know, something died by any means that turn. So not a bad grade 2 at all. Unfortunately, I think you can only have one copy of this in your deck, so there's your one of. Again, it's just auto removal, which is great. Then we have Stealth Rogue Bogoku Meki, so grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard circle. I think about this unit attack, at the end about it, your grade 3 or greater vanguard will grind this card name attached. Counterblast 1, draw a card, and then if your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater and your unit was not placed on rearguard circle from your solo this turn, retire 2 of your rearguards, same column as this unit, choose up to 1 of each Unison Dragon, Andra, and Dragritter Flameblade Guard from your soul, call into rearguard circle, same column as each other, and they get both 5,000 power for the turn. At the end of the turn, put them to soul. So Grai does want a superior call both Andra and the grade 1 Grai from the soul, but if you end up having duplicates in your hand, call them instead. That way you still get the multi-attack ability from Grai Andra, but now you get an extra attack with Mikey. Not a bad grade 1 at all. The only downside is I play Mikey at least. She ends up showing up a little bit too late for me, but I always seem to draw duplicates of Andra and Grai, so it's not a bad card to have in the deck as a 4 of. Moving on, we have Dragritter Jum'as, so grade 3 to 9%, 13k base. After rearguard, if your vanguards are grade 3 or greater, Grai, CB1, retire this unit, choose up to 2 units with either Grai or Andra on the different card names from your drop zone, and call into rearguard circle. Not bad, because a combo you can do is, if you don't want to run the Grai and Andra on the main deck, is you can keep them in soul, run a bunch of soul blasters, then call this, and then bounce those 2 back to hand, and then play, you know, the Maika, and then use Grai Andra's skill to rest itself, get the skill, but don't call from soul, and then just call the coup card you just added back to hand via Jum'as. But either way, those solid grade 3 for recycling, though personally I don't need it because I like to run my units in the main deck, so it's a 2 of you dudes who should run it, but personally I wouldn't run it. Then we have Argo Siren Sifis, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rearguard when your Cheer Dragon or Mermaid unit stands. If your vanguards are grade 3 or greater Argo Siren, bot deck this unit to draw a card and choose one of your units, give it 5 power for the turn. Cool, so if you attack with this card early, or you boost an attack with it early, and then your vanguard or your rearguard stands via the Tiding Order effects, bot that card, you'll get a draw, someone gets 5k. It's a little bit annoying that she leaves the board, but at least she replaces herself and she gives the unit that stood, I mean, it can be anyone, but she'll probably give it the unit that stood 5k to make it so that it can hit better numbers without her as a booster. Not a bad grade 1 at all, actually really good Argo Siren support. I just don't like the fact that she leaves the board, but it's still a very solid 3 of, if not a 4 of. Next up is Argo Siren Vestal, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, contains rearguard or guard circle. If your vanguards are grade 3 or greater Argo Siren, this unit gets intercept, can intercept from back row, and if your binds on its hiding card, and it gets 5,000 shield. All around, that's actually a very good defensive card for Argo Siren. It gets the ability to intercept from back row just by simply being at grade 3, and if you end up, you know, doing the deck's gimmick of binding tiding cards, it's automatically a 10k shield. Not a bad grade 1 at all. Again, it's a little more defensive than I would like, and I prefer my decks to be aggressive, but if you want to have the defensive aspect in it, you could definitely afford to run this as a 2 of, but I wouldn't push it past a 3 of. And then we have It's All or Nothing on the big game. This does not feel like a Brand Gate card just based off its name and its artwork alone, but apparently it is. So grade 2, normal order, play it by counterblasting 1, shuffle your deck. So you just start out shuffling the deck. Then choose a number but from grades 1 to 3, declare it, reveal the top 3, and put all cards with the declared grade from one element to your hand, and discard the rest. Okay, this card is in its own name a gamble, because you are guaranteed to possibly mill 3 cards if you guess the wrong number, because you don't even get the chance to pick grade 0 or grade 4. So if you see a bunch of grade 0s and grade 4, I'm on them, but F you. Honestly, your safest bet is just to pick whatever grade you need. If you need a really good grade 2, pick grade 2 and hope you flip it off the top 3. If you need Persona for next turn, say grade 3. If you need PGs for next turn, pick grade 1 and pray to God you flip anything off the top. Like, it's not a bad order, but God, it's such a minus, and you can't even prep for it because it force shuffles your deck. So if you want to run it, it's a 1 of, and you are gambling the entire game on it. And on to our last reviews for the day. First up, we have Carve Out Dragon, grade 3, 29%, 13k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, Blangdmire in the card name, check the top card and either put it at the top or put it into your soul. And if you put it into soul, this unit gets 5,000 power for the turn. However, if your bind zone has 4 more cards, it gets plus 10k. Overall, it's actually a very solid ability. It is a free soul charge, and the best part is this can kind of proc off the Colossus, because the Colossus, when it goes to soul in general, can bind itself to draw a card. The only issue I have with this is that if you were to do that, you'd be running a lot of grade 3s, because of course you're running this, then you would be running the Colossus, and you'd be running Blangdmire Nexus. But it's not a bad grade 3 to run, and it's definitely like a possible 2 of tech you can run in Blangdmire for that combo. Then of course we have Baroness Ripper, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, a continuous guard circle. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater with Blangdmire in the card name, and your bind zone has 4 more cards in it, it gets 5k shield, but if your bind zone has any more cards in it, it gets plus 10k instead. So honestly, it's either a 10k shield or a 15k shield. Not bad, though Blangdmire kind of wants to finish more quickly, so even though shield does scale with how longer the game goes, I wouldn't say it's the ideal support card for Blangdmire, but if you did run this, it's the same with the previous one, possibly a 2 of tech. Then we have Cry of the Crow Voltac, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Continues if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, Blangdmire in the card name, and your bind zone has more face down cards. This unit gets all the following: continues rearguard, this card cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. It continues rearguard and gains boost, and continues rearguard or a guard circle gets 5,000 shield and 5,000 power active per turns. So it doesn't end up doing anything to help increase the bind or help increase the soul, but it gets heavily supported by Blangdmire, because basically once you hit the bare minimum 4 threshold, it's automatically a 15k booster or 10k interceptor that can't be procced by effects. Not a bad grade 2 at all, and definitely has a little bit of space in the Blangdmire deck, so if you want to run it, you can definitely afford to run it at 3. Then we have Elaborate Wizard, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle from the hand, check the top 2, choose a card from among them, put it to soul, and put the other at the bottom of the deck in any order. So it's a guaranteed free soul charge and bot deck card. Unfortunately, the card goes to the bottom of your deck, but that's why you have Zalmuk to shuffle, and then auto rearguard at the end of this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, Blangdmire in the card name, select one, choose an ornament from your soul, put it to hand, and bind this unit face down. Cool. So it's not really a minus, because yes, you're losing a soul card, but Elaborate Wizard binds itself face down, so it's like procking off Blangdmire, is that the normal unit goes to soul, so if you end up soul charging a PG or Persona Ride, you can bounce one of those back instead of just, having to bind it face down, and then you still get the bind out of it anyways for only 1 CB, and Blangdmire Nexus and regular Blangdmire don't cost CB, so there you go. Not a bad grade 1 at all to have in the deck, and at very least a 3 of, if not a 4 of. And finally, we have our new main grade 3, one who walks from 0, Blangdmire Nexus. So, continues Vanguard Circle. This unit is also regarded as phase 1 of 0 Blangdmire. During your turn, if your soul has a card with the same name as this unit, it gets all of their divine skills, and all of your former rear guards get 5,000 power. Based on the wording, that skill does not stack, by the way, because the kings were like, for each copy of the original, this unit gets 5,000 power. This one is as long as there's a copy in soul. So, unfortunately, that skill does not stack and proc off multiple times, but still, given the firmware 5k is still pretty solid. And then Act Vanguard, once per turn, this cost can be paid by bind a grade 3 or greater card with Blangdmire and its card name from your soul, bind 4 cards from your soul face down, your opponent chooses 2 of their own rear guards, binds them face down, and this unit gets 5,000 power at the end of turn for every 2 face down cards in your bind zone. Then choose up to 1 face down card from your bind zone, reveal it, and if the revealed card is a grade 3 or less, you can call it to rear guard, and if you're not reveal a card, you may draw a card. All around pretty solid, because like Blangdmire's regular skill, except during the main phase, meaning you can force your opponent to get rid of their interceptors before you start swinging. It still gets the exact same numbers that regular Blangdmire would give, and not to mention the fact that it could get you a draw or a rearguard call if you so needed to, and you get the numbers before you do the call. So if you end up having exactly like 12, like how we saw it in the anime, you would get the numbers and then you get the call. And not to mention the fact that after you use your divine skill, you can just afford to get rid of a Blangdmire if it's the only card in your soul, which granted would make you lose 5k, but it would proc off the entire skill. All around, very solid grade 3. It has the potential to get you big numbers very easily for such a small cost, get you board presence and or hand cards, and is a slightly more like strengthening skill that's better than the kings, but is better in its own respective right, because it gives the front row 5k and not just itself, but is what it is. Either way, though, that's it for this one. I hope all of you guys enjoy. Next week we get the Mythic of Miracles, aka Akina's bird thingy, so I'll see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to set up your vanguards.